Welcome to my desk setup. It feels really nice and spacious because I'm moving out, so majority of the stuff that's usually sitting on the desk is gone, and it's really making me rethink what it usually looks like. I am really tired today. I didn't sleep good. I don't know if I ever talked about this here, but I have a really loud party venue literally across the street, and it's more like a road than a street. It's actually called something road. So sometimes I will not be sleeping. That's probably like the biggest like con of this place. But what I wanted to talk to you about is art and me as an artist, but also my journey back to art. And I mean like making physical art, drawing, and maybe it's too much to call it a journey, but I am definitely drawing. I'm drawing right now. Hi, for context, I just wanted to add here that when I was around 13 and I discovered illustration, I really thought I was going to do it as my full-time job. I didn't have many examples of what you could do as a profession, and one of my parents, as I mentioned later in this video, was a full-time artist at the time. So I think a lot of my family is artistic too, hence this topic has been really close to my heart and just my brain for a lot of my life. And I haven't done that in about a year. And I think it would be interesting to talk about my rules for art and rules I follow anytime I get back into it, because contrary to what I thought as a kid my adult life would look like, art is not a focal point of my universe right now, in the sense where it's not my job. It hasn't really ever been anything I've majorly supported myself financially from. I had attempts as a teenager, but it never went too far. So right now it's just a passion, but I don't think that makes it any less important. I love art. I love consuming art. I still love drawing. I love writing. To me, making videos is a form of art. And I think we can talk about it together. So definitely rule number one, and something I followed and kind of learned from my dad, who was a full-time artist for majority of his life, is not everything you make has to be your best work. If you've ever attempted any form of creativity like cooking, I don't know, even fashion related stuff, it doesn't have to be drawing or these traditional, like what is the traditional notion of an artist. If you think an artist, you probably first think music or like painting, but any type of creativity, if you ever try it, you're gonna realize that not everything you do, not every performance, if you're a performer, not every performance, if you're a performer, is gonna be your best. Sometimes you just have to sit down and take an idea and feel out if this is a day where you should just take it as play and as fun, which, disclaimer, we're gonna get to that. Everything you make should be fun, but you know, sometimes you just have to go a bit more with the flow, and the outcome is not gonna be necessarily something that rocks your world or anybody else's, but who knows, maybe the works that you like the least are gonna end up being the most loved ones by others. That's definitely happened to me before. But yeah, I just really recommend letting yourself play, not taking it so seriously. Actually, when creating stuff, this is my second point, the least seriously you take it, the more energy, the more positive energy you charge the outcome with, and in a result, it has a bigger chance to be successful. You can really clearly see that posting on social media. People on TikTok often say that the things that do the best are the ones they care the least about. And guess where that comes from? Energetically, the energy of really, really needing validation for your content or anything you do. So posting with an idea that people have to love it, or otherwise I'm gonna break down, my self-esteem is gonna decrease, I'm gonna feel terrible about myself. That mindset is repelling people from actually doing what you want. So enjoying your content and your art. That's not what the process is about. So all the cheesy sayings, stuff that you might think is cheesy about, oh, go with the flow, enjoy the process, it's about the journey, not the destination. It's all so true, inherently. I just saw 555 on the timer of the video. So yeah, honestly, that's my main message when creating anything and doing anything you want to do. You have to find pleasure and enjoyment in it. And that doesn't mean that every time you record or post content or make something, you have to be like, woo, and like full of adrenaline and like really overwhelmingly excited. No, you just have to genuinely love making what you made. You don't even necessarily have to like know what outcome you want from it. Sometimes I've posted videos, like people very often say that when the success is coming to them, they don't expect it. And then watching that as a person who's trying to succeed and is like very laser focused on success and the idea of success, you might be like, bullshit. Of course you like wanted that. You had to be thinking about it. Like, why would you make it otherwise? And here's the gist. If you really are enjoying what you're making, you're gonna love the idea of just making it, and putting it out into the world is sort of like a bonus. And then what people say about it and their positive reactions is a bonus. Even their negative reaction is not gonna throw you off. If you really love what you're making, it's gonna just be a confirmation of something you already so firmly know deep within. But if you're posting content and you're genuinely having doubts, the chances are higher than lower than it's not gonna do that great. I am not a huge creator, and I'm aware of that. My most popular short on YouTube has 30,000 views. To some people, that's gonna be a ton. To some, that's gonna be nothing. But I had some moments where I was like, okay, that is something. Like a considerable amount of people have seen it. That being said, I've been posting online for I think less than a year now. I started YouTube around a year ago. Actually, I think there's gonna be an anniversary of my first YouTube video. I found enough courage to post like very soon. I definitely have to check. If I find the date, I'm gonna put it on the screen. But yeah, I definitely think that enjoyment is what brings you the most, just the best outcomes ever. It just is extremely attractive on an energetical level to enjoy what you're making, and mainly like the state that you get into while you're creating or posting. You have to just very firmly like know deep down that loving the process is what makes your art good. Recording the video is what makes the video valuable, because the more you like it, the more of your good energy you put into it, your sexual creative energy radiates, and then you're just so like thrilled and like, you know, everything in this world is about excitement and love and these high vibrational emotions. Not to say that some successful people are not bad people, but we're approaching a different territory now, so I think this is where I can safely wrap up my video. I think this is gonna be a standalone message, so something different than my usual content, but as I said, you have to follow your excitement. And I hope you do too, and I hope you make something creative soon. Tune into your intuition, and it'll tell you everything that you need to know.